Okay, everybody, it's time for your next story. This one's called, can you read that? You know what it says? It says, "Get the scoop on animal puke. From zombie ants to vampire bats, 251 cool facts about vomit, regurgitation, and more." What do you think's on this cover? You got a dog here, and what's all that stuff down there? Oh boy. I think it's puke. Okay, here, look at that. There's a lion there. Looks like he's yakking. That's a she. That's a she lion. She's yakking. Oh, here's some birdies there. It looks like they're yakking. Okay, there's a polar bear. Says, introduction, welcome. Ooh, look at this bug. He's like spitting out something. Some things in nature seem very gross when you first hear about them. If you learn why and how something happens, though, nature becomes more fascinating and less disgusting. For example, as you quietly read the words on this page, large diaphragm muscles are raising and lowering your rib cage to help you breathe. Stop reading for a few minutes and pay attention to your ribs. Think about your diaphragm muscles as air moves in and out of your lungs. If your body needs to vomit, these same muscles would move with a lot of force, pushing the contents of your stomach up through your esophagus and out of your mouth. You may think of puking as a bad thing. It makes your stomach hurt and it smells gross. In the animal world, though, vomit helps animals in many ways. It can scare away predators, feed family and neighbors, help with digestion, and so much more. Wild animals are different from people and their pets. Herbivores cannot call the Poison Control Center or 911 if they eat toxic berries or leaves. Instead, they vomit. Flies and cockroaches do not have a pancreas or liver to secrete the enzymes that help their stomachs break down their foods. Instead, they vomit and spit out the enzymes from their stomachs onto their food before eating. Blue jays and bears cannot go to the grocery store for jars of baby food or cut their own food into small pieces with knives and forks to feed their babies. Instead, can you guess what it is? That's right. Instead, they vomit. They vomit partially digested food for their babies. And so then the babies eat it. If you hear your friends or your family saying gross as they read through this book, please remind them that the gross and weird things we see in nature help animals compete and stay alive. Animal puke isn't gross, it's really pretty cool. Have fun getting the scoop on animal puke. All right, here's what it looks like in your body. Here's the esophagus, that's the tube that goes to your stomach. And then the food goes over there, and then over there, and up around there, around there, over there, over there, over there. Then it goes to your small intestines. Goes all around in there, and then it goes into your large intestines, and then it comes out right here. Here, listen, you can hear it when it comes out. It goes like this. All right. Yeah, look at this leopard. He looks like he's about ready to puke. This bird, it's about ready to puke. Oh, look at this. Here's two sticks. Here's one big stick. Then here's a little smaller stick. Wait a second. That's not a stick. That's a bug. And bugs puke too. Ew, look at this skunk. This skunk looked like you know what he just did? Yeah, I think he just puked. And here is here's some kind of lizard who's eating a bug. He's about ready to puke. This lion's about ready to puke too. Here's a horse. He's about ready to puke. Several types of animals cannot vomit, which prevents them from puking up things in their stomachs that could hurt or kill them. So actually, I said this horse was about ready to puke. It says horses and rabbits, for example, can regurgitate food from their esophagus, but once it gets to their stomachs, strong valves seal it shut. So horses and rabbits, they will never puke. Biologists do not know why elephants cannot puke, but there are a few documented cases of barfing elephants. So for the most part, horses, they don't puke at all. And sometimes elephants puke, but they usually don't. Here's a turtle, a sea turtle. That sea turtle, he can't puke either, and that's too bad. Because sometimes he eats little plastic water bottles that look like jellyfish to him, so he eats them and then they get in their stomach and then he gets sick with all that plastic in his stomach and he can't puke. Yeah, here's a rabbit, he can't puke. Uh-oh, look at this girl. Now she is about ready to puke. And people puke for many reasons. They do it to remove toxins or bad things from their bodies. Look at there, here's some germs. Look at all these germs. Let's count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here's some, and so people puke to get rid of viruses, bacteria, parasites, and other germs from their stomach. So when you puke, that's sometimes you puke up food because you got a bad germ in your stomach. And some people puke because of motion sickness. Here's some people riding a roller coaster, and there's some people, they go upside down and then they puke. One time I was in a helicopter and I puked. Anya is puked in the car from motion sickness. I don't think anybody else has though. All right, so birds, they like to puke. Sometimes they puke, they'll eat a little bit of food and then they puke it out and they give it to their little baby birds. But here's a bird, when he pukes, he makes the predators go away. Look at that puke right there. He goes, yeah, get out of here. Blah. Then the person who's trying to eat his eggs goes, yeah, he just puked on me. I'm getting out of here. Ah. Here's one of our favorite animals. We see these pretty much every day. They're turkey vultures. Turkey vultures and other types of vultures feed on dead animals. Sometimes the prey animals have been dead for a few minutes, while others they've been dead for a couple of days. If another animal tries to attack a feeding vulture or steal its food, the turkey vulture vomits on them. He goes, bleh, get out of here. So how would you like to do that? Say you're at school or the playground and you're playing with your toy and some other kid wants to play with your toy. Do you puke on him to make him go away? No, you don't puke on him. But that's what the turkey vulture does. Let's say you're at lunch in school and somebody wants to take your dessert. What do? Do you puke on him to make him go away? No, you don't puke on him. But that's what turkey vultures sometimes do. All right, let's see what else they got here. They got this grasshopper. Yeah, insect-eating birds remember which insects taste bad. So when the bird is about ready to eat this grasshopper, he pukes. And you know what this is? Everybody knows what that is. We get them in our own yard. Sometimes they're green, sometimes they're gray. It's a praying mantis. Not a pretty mantis, a praying mantis. And so they puke on themselves if somebody's about ready to eat them. I never saw them puke when I picked them up though. Oh, here's some toxic puke. So some of these guys, they puke out poison. Yeah. They puke out poison. Butterflies, that they have, see, when birds eat a milkweed feeding monarch, the birds throw up. If the monarch butterflies could talk, they might be taunting the birds with, ha-ha, made you puke. So they got little poison on their wings that makes the bird puke. And then the birds remember not to eat those the butterflies anymore. Here's some owls. They like to puke. Here's this bird. Look at, he's puking something out. Yeah, he's puking that out, and then he gives it to his baby bird. Sperm whales. Here's a sperm whale. They eat hundreds of pounds of squid every day, and then they puke it out so that the little babies can eat, the little baby sperm whales can eat them. Here's a hyena. He's about ready to puke. Anya, Alex, and Elise, do you remember a time when you had to puke? Look at, here's these snakes. They like to sneak up on people and take their eggs, and then they eat them. But they don't like the shells. They just like the inside part. So guess what they do? They can't pick the shell off, so they just eat the whole thing, and then guess what? They puke out. They puke out the shell. Here's some kind of crocodile. How would you like to research the way crocodiles puke? Alex, would you like that? How about you, Elise? Would you like to research and study the ways crocodiles puke? Scientists from London went to Australia to study vomiting crocodiles. Researchers gave the crocodiles toxins to make them puke, and then measured their blood pressure and heart activity. They also videotaped the crocodiles. What did they find out? Crocodiles make a lot of noise when they puke. They leap forward and snap their jaws as if they are striking at prey, then shake their heads from side to side. Why do crocodiles shake their heads when they puke? Biologists believe their diaphragm muscles may not be strong enough to force the puke all the way out of their mouths. So alligators and gavials, close relatives to crocodiles, may vomit the same way. That's kind of mean. If you're a scientist, that's what they did. The scientists said, hey, let's try to make these crocodiles puke and see what happens. Well, here's some baby pukers. Almost everything in nature is worth careful observation. For instance, why do frogs below have big bulging throats? And what about fish on the right? What about these fish? Yeah, here's some gastric brooding dads. Let's see what they do. Who do you think they do, Anya and Alex? So here they got baby frogs in their this little pouch, and then they puke them out. And the same thing with these fish. This fish has got baby fish eggs. He keeps them in his mouth, but then he pukes it out. That's how they protect their mouth, as that's how they protect their eggs from other people eating them, or from other things eating them. They just put them in their mouth, and then when they're ready to hatch, they puke them out. How about that? Uh-oh. Here's some spiders. I'm sure glad they're not puking on me. This fly is having a bad day. And that bug was having a bad day with that spider. Yeah, look at these bugs. He's got two big eyes. One eye, two eyes. There's a caterpillar. They puke. Now these guys, they'll puke. And it looks like these water buffalo and the giraffes. Do the giraffes puke? Let's see. Why does it take so much work and 4 stomach chambers? Yeah, so actually some of these guys, like, they have 4 stomachs because they just eat grass. And if you eat grass, you need more than 1 stomach to digest it all. Here's some cows. They like to puke. They puke all the time. Here's some little lambs and little goats. They puke. Marsupials, like these kangaroos, they puke food. They eat a little bit of food, but then they puke it. And then what else do? Then they eat it again. So some animals, they puke it, and then they'll just eat it again, and then they can eat it better. And here's a whale. Whales and dolphins have 4-chambered stomachs, so they have 4 stomachs too. Even though they do not eat hard-to-digest plants like other ruminant animals, they inherited these 4-chambered stomachs from their land-living ancestors. When lots of food is available, whales and dolphins can fill all 4 stomachs. Here's some camels. I don't know what they're doing. They got 3-chambered stomachs. Here's some more birds. Sometimes when birds like to make some baby birds together, when a mommy bird and a daddy bird get together, they puke on each other to help them make some babies. Good boy. Yeah, look at here's a mommy ant. She's giving some baby ants some food by puking it. That's pretty gross. And look at here's a big mommy bird, and she's giving some baby birds here. Here's some more baby birds. They're reaching up to get some food from their mommy, and that's how they eat. Now you know how baby Elias, he gets his food from mommy, but it's not by puking. It's by sucky-suckies. Look at here's another bird. He's getting some puke from his mom. Yep, here's some more. Here's a pink flamingo. He's getting some puke from his mom. And here's some penguins. They like to puke. Puke feeders. Okay, now here is something interesting. Honeybees live in large social groups. Honeybee homes are called hives, and hives contain small compartments called cells. So the bees, they puke out the honey. Now, I like honey, but it's kind of gross to think that the bees are puking that out. Don't think about that when you're having honey next time. Here's some wasps. I hate these bugs. I wish they'd just go away. But they puke to make their house. See that house? That's a wasp house. They make that by puking.